Hi.
Hi. So today, because we're in the middle of it, we're in our daughter's room.
New bedroom.
New bedroom. Well, it was our other daughter's bedroom before, and my office before that. And so the last 3 days we've been in the transition of moving our soon-to-be 3-year-old outside of our room, which has been shared with her and her big sister on and off for about almost 7 years now. So we're trying to do it compassionately. So as opposed to just have her kind of cry, which some people do, which is faster. The way we've been doing it is like, she'll start crying because she's happy about her room, having her own room, but she's not happy that she's not with us. And so
she's not used to being on her own.
Yeah. So coming in, telling her how much we love her and that this is a big step and
that we're taking care of her from the other room.
Yeah, and we had the dogs in the room with her and trying to do it as compassionately as possible, but that also means no sleep for a few. It's been 3 nights. Last night finally it moved a lot, but kind of like coming in every 15 minutes sometimes and just
more like 5.
More like 5. And just kind of like giving her a lot of love and then letting her kind of slowly go through the process. So it's brought up all sorts of stuff for us.
Right. The first thing for me was that not having her next to me in that setup that we have in our bedroom was sadness. She's growing older. That chapter in our family life is over. This like babyhood is behind us now, and she's growing. She's
coming into. Because we're not having more kids.
Yes, we're done having kids. So that. And then I realized too that whenever I would put her to sleep, the bedroom would go quiet and dark, to respect her needs.
Over there?
Yeah, in our bedroom. And that would sort of, I would kind of stay there, in the quiet, having my alone time, feeling tired, doing my own thing. And now it's not necessarily dark or quiet, and it can be my alone time, but now all of a sudden I don't really know what to do with that time anymore, or like how I feel about like on one hand my head goes into like, oh, I should be doing something productive, like I should be writing or reading or something, and then another part of me is like, maybe I should keep doing what I used to do and just go to sleep at this hour, So that's been coming to the surface for me. And just a level of exhaustion. Last night, she finally went to sleep at like 1 and woke up close to 7.
Yeah.
So we had like 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep.
And from 11 to 1, we were coming in about every 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. So those hours allowed me to feel more human today. But yesterday I was like a high-functioning zombie, and that those levels of depletion and like exhaustion always make me feel depressed, and that's hard to navigate. But I'm super proud, on the other hand, that we've been navigating it as a team.
I was going to talk about that.
Oh.
No, go. It's fine.
I'm proud that we've kind of remained compassionate to each other, sort of like open, tolerant, respecting boundaries. Like in the past, maybe we would have effed it up.
Well, okay. So sometimes with our smallest, it's a different story when she gets sick than the other kids. Obviously, she needs, until pretty recently, a few months ago, she was still breastfeeding, and it meant just this incredible amount of time devotion when she would be sick and not being able to do work and not being able to sleep. And so historically, when you and I are not sleeping well, sooner or later after day 1 or day 2, we kind of start going at each other's throats, even though sometimes we'll have conversations about it and be like, this time we want to do it better, but it's like there's something about the stress level, the concern about the well-being of our daughter, and us not just being able to recharge or be able to be compassionate for so long. And so last night, it was 3 nights into it, we started to get edgy with each other, and it was interesting because I personally tried to do this exercise of just being as present as possible and just feeling what there was, but at the same time, like, I had a million things I wanted to tell you that you were doing wrong. And there was like, because you were doing everything wrong in my head. But I was like, maybe she isn't. Maybe I don't want to say it now. And let's see if I believe that in the morning. And so we were able to navigate it, which was really cool. I totally agree. It was really cool. And it also, for me, brought up a lot of shit. You know, like I could feel kind of the trauma of her feeling kind of abandoned and alone. And I could just feel it in my heart of like being little and having my parents have me cry it out. And so it brought up lots of stuff for me. So it was very hard. Like there was certain moments last night where I was like, oh God, I don't know if I could do this. And you also were saying the same thing. And I was like pushing right to the edge of just kind of emotional capacity to have our baby suffering. And it's part of a process to get her to a different place. And there's no way to get around it, you know? And because we were doing it kind of right. We were doing it where, you know, it was, look, we're going to leave the room after this. And you have to learn to go to sleep. So it's not like, you know, where like a lot of parents, they'll come and they'll put their kid to sleep and then they sneak out and then the kid wakes up horrified that they're alone very often and then they start screaming, crying, and you have to do it again and again. And it's not honest and it's not empowering really for the kid. Whereas it's harder to do it this way, but the kid in the end, like she was so proud of herself this morning. She was like, you know, I fucking nailed it, Daddy. And she was like patting me on the back, you know, and it was cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's so hard parenting, you know, so no judgment for however people do things, you know, everyone chooses a way. I have some friends that still sleep with their kids and they're older, you know, they're 5, 6, 7, and there's a nice element to it. Mm-hmm. There's a not nice element to it. That's why we decided to pull the plug. But we don't judge anybody. We're just here to say this is our choice, and it has had a really challenging, tiring, like emotionally taxing aspect to it. And we just, you know, we want to put it out there. We want to put it in the public light, how it can be sad and exciting at the same time, how it can be hard individually and as a couple, and just sharing, you know, the times that aren't glamorous, and also the fact that it's been cool for us to do this united, you know, connected as a couple.
I want to say one thing before we go. Was so funny last night too. She finally, like, for the first time in 3 nights, she finally managed to put herself to sleep. And she wakes up like 10 minutes later and she's like, I slept. And I'm sure in her little head, she thought it was like 7 in the morning. I'm like, oh, that's great. Good
no, or she was like, I slept. Now I get permission to go back to your bedroom.
No, it wasn't so bad. But she was so proud of herself though, but it was so funny for me. And then she did manage to do it. All right.
Thank you for watching. Thanks. Please share if you have had any experiences like this, what you guys have done, what you guys have gone through. And thank you once again.
Ciao.
Ciao.